Captain's Log Supplemental.
So, Miss Vicki.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember when we were watching those WRL events and some of those grid life events where you used to see the in-car video and it had like the cameras seeing front and back, but it also could see all the telemetry and everything that was going on?
Mm-hmm.
You know, most of the ones that we liked were taken by the Sentinel system. Remember James came on our podcast earlier?
Right.
You know, we have no excuse since he lent us one for trial and demonstration purposes. We should actually probably put that in one of our cars. Maybe two.
I really think we should.
I think we should.
I know.
Because then we'd look like the immature endurance racing team that we are. Oh, wait, I mispronounced that, didn't I? Sorry, my bad. We could
So what does
have,
the Sentinel system do?
we could have 3 cameras with picture-in-picture. We could have, if we ever get the AIM system to work, open invitation to anybody from AIM to come on and give us a little bit of love. We need some help. And then we could have all our telemetry on there. And then we can have it streamed live into the paddock or around the world to our millions of fans. We're apparently very popular in Kenya right now. Don't know why, but that's fine. And it can integrate all the available race statistics from like Race Hero and everything. So we could actually see how we're doing on video. We wouldn't even have to carry around our phone anymore. Live.
I love it.
From the great halls of their house, there are assembled 3 who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. Their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher. Our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Skripchuk. And our Batman, the master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical, our mild-mannered soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission, to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them, and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team. Dominating with Dawson.
Dominating with Dawson with Dawson. Ben's back.
That's right. Here we go. Let's talk about some racing stuff.
So Ben, during your well-deserved hiatus, where you took several weeks of vacation time at full pay rate, I might add.
That's right. I was shirking my duty, but still reaping the full benefit.
That's right. Your $0 checks are in the mail if you haven't already gotten them. So.
Oh, I got them. I got them. They were great.
All right, cool. I wasn't sure if you were on direct deposit, but that's fine. So I was handling a listener feedback. We know how much Ben loves listener feedback.
I love that. I love that anybody listens, and I love even more when they'll talk to us.
So I believe this one goes back a little bit. This one goes back to things you can do to practice racing safely on the street.
Okay. Yeah, I'm constantly doing that kind of stuff. So whether I want to admit it or not.
Yeah. So long-time listener, long-time writer-winner. We'll go with codename Tyler. No one can break our
Tyler.
code. No one can break our code names.
Tyler, Aaron. I better not say it. Just kidding. Hey, How you doing? Thanks for writing in.
Nope. So codename Tyler says he is only halfway through this episode, but he loves it. The comment about using video to see traffic reminded me of when I was looking through my data from Road America and noticed on my fastest lap that the GPS showed a really weird line coming out of turn 5. All I have to say is, why am I not at Road America? But continuing,
right?
I figured it was either GPS error or traffic, and I pulled up the video, and sure enough, I had to cross over and track to pass a Lincoln. The speed trace backed this up, and I was slower through turn 6 than on my next fastest lap, and there was no traffic. Regarding car placement, a lot of country roads in Wisconsin. Oh, sorry. Codename Wisconsin.
Codename Wisconsin.
Codename Wisconsin.
Alleged Wisconsin.
Yes. Codename Cheesehead. Have centerline and shoulder rumble strips. And whenever there isn't oncoming traffic, I try to make both of them rumble when I go around any turn. Inside, outside, inside, which I believe should be outside, inside, outside. But you know, it's codename Tyler, so maybe he's just backwards.
Code name inside.
Yes.
Means
Codename
outside.
Inside Tyler. But exactly on once, so I'm not crossing completely over them. Kind of not the best plan. Not a terrible plan, as long as there's nobody coming the other way. Like, make sure you can see. Like, you're not
But if
coming
it's
up.
if it's a turn that's if it's a turn that's entertaining and interesting enough to want to do that, it's probably not one that's got a bunch of visibility on the other end
Yeah.
of it.
Well, I mean, you could have one that there is visible. You want to have visibility. You
Yeah,
don't want
you
to. You don't.
could.
Last thing
Yeah.
you want is a surprise. Surprises are bad.
No.
And then codename Arthur, who may be related to codename Tyler, says
Cool.
staying between the rumbles sounds like a very key move. So rumbles are good to stay between. I think.
Yes. Don't go out of them.
I think there's better ways to do this. I think that the ideal situation is to have a narrow car because that makes your lane wider.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll tell you, like there's a pretty like that. I get on and off the interstate, the same place, every day going to work, and the way I get back on headed toward my house is a situation where it's got its own right turn lane, and it's a fairly tight turn. But if there's nobody behind me or anywhere around, I'll just stay in the lane and not use the turn lane to open up that turn a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be chugging down through there at 45. I will just tap the brake to set the nose, and I slam that car through there. And I'm using every bit of the apex part of that exit ramp. And on the exit, I'm using I'm out there rumbling through the rough stuff on the exit. But I do that on an exit ramp because I feel like I'm out there all by myself, and it's kind of okay. But I do I screw around like hitting the apex on an exit ramp, and being a little bit out of bounds as far as like crossing that solid line and stuff like that, because I know there's not going to be any opposing traffic or anything like that, and I kind of got it all to myself. So that's a place where I do like to do that. I do like to feel the rumbles and kind of know that I'm maxing out. Like I'm using every bit of the road on the entry, and I'm doing what everybody else does, going like 15 miles an hour getting on the interstate. I do it going about 40, and I the tires slide a little bit when I do that. And I'm a little bit of I'm not out of control, but I mean I'm doing the best thing you could. I'm doing everything a Lexus RX 350 will do getting onto an interstate ramp, without turning it over.
The pinnacle of motorsport.
Exactly. So yeah, I fuck around the same way that these folks are talking about, but I don't do it if it's something where there could be a car headed the other way. I don't trust other drivers enough to play that game. Out there on the road. Not that I think there's anything inherently dangerous with what they're doing. But they're talking about kind of putting a tire on the line here, putting the tire on the outside line there, and it just does not sound like something I'd do as a parent to small kids. Sorry,
Yes.
sorry, codename Arthur and Tyler's.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, and it's good to get that kind of racetrack frame of mind and keep it fresh, where because you can slip back into kind of street driving standards in your mind. And then when you get back to the track, it could be tougher to get all the way back to sort of that mindset. So I think it's good to keep your brain thinking that way and see, visualize racetrack everywhere. What you do with it after you visualize it is up to you. But I think you should. I see. Everything I see is a racetrack.
Yep.
From the grocery store aisle to every damn thing.
We know Ben with that cart in the Piggly Wiggly is a fear comes over the stock boy.
He's a killer out there with that shopping cart.
There comes Dominic with Dawson with the shopping cart again. Anyway, so I guess the most important thing is to be safe, and the second most important thing is don't be stupid, you moron. So
yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know if the answer you're going for was a sanctimonious lecture for me, but that's kind of what I launched into. I don't know if that's what we were trying to get to or not.
It's fine.
That was where the question took me. I think there's a lot to be said for practicing racetrack and visualizing racetrack out in the world. There's also a lot to be said for knowing how hard to hit it and when to not fuck around.
I'd be more comfortable if you said I try and get as close to the rumble strips as possible without hearing them. That would make me happier.
Oh, if I had said that?
No, but I'm just saying if codename Tyler had said that, that would be because then you'd have wheel placement as well as angle. So
Oh, yeah, and that would be great practice for any time these codename drivers go to CMP, where there are a couple places where you want to be right next to that curb, but not on it, like the
not on
the
it
last turn,
especially if it's wet.
Yeah, so being near the rumbles is also good practice. That's a good point there. Closest to the hole, so to speak.
Indeed. So Ben, it's been a while since we talked, and we figured since this is a race weekend for us, We talk about what we were doing and where we were going. So the craziness of Garage Heroes in Training is going to PittRace. And now I can say, PittRace.
Exactly, and thank goodness I do. I think about that track a lot. It's on my mind. I was talking to somebody. I don't know how it came up, but sometime in this past week we took our kids to DC, and I found myself talking about PittRace and how it's unique, and the fact that it's one of these tracks that a couple of the most consequential turns you have to nail the exit. That one like 5 where you're headed up big uphill, right?
5 and 6.
But you
Yeah.
come out of 5, yeah. So into 5, coming out of 6, you got that huge uphill. So if you don't nail the exit of 6 with the right amount of speed or in the right place, you're either going to be off track because you tried too hard, or midland because you didn't try hard enough. Either way, you'll be screwed. You know what I mean?
Your car will put right.
Yeah, and like same thing with exit of 17, I think, where you're getting back on the front stretch.
Yep.
Boy, if you don't nail that exactly right, you die down the front stretch and everybody's eating your lunch. So to me, there are not a lot of places where the exit is as crucial as these couple of places at PittRace, and that makes it a really, just those two things make it a really fun track. I also remember when I was there at the Lucky Dog race, there was that one time where I kind of forgot to brake, or just didn't hit the brakes at the right time going into turn 1, spun the car, radioed into the team. They're like, all right, crank it up, see you later. I just kept on racing. But oh yeah, downhill, turn 14. That's that kind of hair raising downhill where you keep throwing more and more speed at it, right?
All the way in the back, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the back section, so fun. Yeah, great track. I'm jealous. So this is Lemons?
Lemons.
Hell yeah. What are you driving?
We have a variety of cars. We have a
smattering.
Yes. We're bringing Jeremy's E46. I think it's a 325.
Ooh, that white one?
No, the black one. The white one's the big boy car. This is the Lemons car.
Well, that's what I was asking. I was like, that white one looks pretty serious.
Yeah, the white that is non-Lemons. Then we're bringing.
That's so funny. He's got that thing like welded. He's got the cage like welded to the frame and shit on that one, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
And then we're bringing the S10, but it's got a new engine.
Isuzu?
Chevy S10 / Isuzu Hombre. Yes.
Nice.
And then we have a Mini Cooper. I don't know that we got a final answer whether or not that's coming. And then
whose car is that?
A friend of ours, Mike Marzo.
Cool.
So he may or may not be coming. I'm not sure how his team came together. So if you came, thank you, Mike. If you didn't come, what the hell?
Yeah, future Mike.
That's right. And then 3 Pedal Mafia is there with their Mazda 3. So if things go terribly wrong, I'm sure we could talk them into something. So
isn't that the V6 one or something like that?
They engine swapped. It's an Ecotech something. I think it's a 4 though, but it's
that sounds fun. It sounds like pretty fun to have in the
Yep.
thing. I'll tell you what, I feel I've never driven an E46 in a Lemons race. They kind of were still like too fancy the last few times I raced Lemons. And I think but I think if you let me loose in what's the smallest engine E46?
What's the what?
You set me loose in a 323.
Okay. I think this is a 325. So
323, 325. I don't even need the big boy 330. You set me loose in any E46 with good brakes and okay suspension, maybe even slightly sporty suspension at a Lemons race, I would run the fucking table. I guarantee you.
Yes, and the reason we aren't hopefully getting any penalty laps is we are not Ben Dawson. So
I'm sorry, and I've definitely been saying too many F-bombs.
That's okay. He's been gone for a while, and now my editing skills are pulled back in. It's fine.
Sorry, just how I talk.
We know. It's fine. So we're going out there. We'll be there Thursday. We're doing our final prep on Friday, and then all day Saturday and Sunday. Hopefully, we'll be having some, at least in-car telemetry, maybe some in-car video. Who knows?
Oh, cool. You mean like some stuff that people could tune in and stream?
Streaming, baby.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I love when teams do that, especially people I like. I never get to see any of y'all doing any driving, so I'm definitely going to snoop on this situation, and I'll be critiquing everything. I'll be live critiquing on YouTube. Like, hey,
we will tell you who's in the car and everything about it. So just remember,
hey Vicki, how about you widen out that exit to so and so?
How about you push the gas pedal to the Anyway,
Hey, Bill, gas pedal, long skinny one on right. It'll
on
be,
the
it'll be
right,
very helpful. I
you
mean,
should
you got
use
so
it.
much helpful feedback. Yeah.
You
Think
should
about
use it.
applying it with your foot.
Perhaps pressing it would make you go faster. Yeah. So, but both of those cars, Jeremy's cars, are essentially new to us. Like the engine swap and
Right.
transmission swap is new. So who knows? And then the BMW, this is the first race. So it should be fine. But first race, you never know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But we know that trying to race an E46 at pit race can be just downright
Painful.
maddening. And you might have
Yes.
to go to some basket case E36 that Randy Popes rescued from a wrecked road Atlanta and then
Yep.
sold to some other dude. You never know
Yep.
how this stuff's gonna play out.
Oh, you know what? I'm not sure I don't mean to insult you. Obviously, you listen to every episode that you're not on.
Yes. Tell me anyway, just in
Yeah,
case.
just in case you missed it, because maybe the kid was talking or something.
Yeah.
We found out what the problem was with the E46. The oil pump died, and
Did it come loose or was it wired?
before everybody says, "Hey, did you tie the knot? The nut, blah, blah, the nut was tied." The oil
Okay.
pump literally died.
Oh wow! Because the reason I asked that is because Reed has been tearing down the engine from the E36 M3 that we race a lot,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Yeah, oil pump nut was loose, like finger loose." He's like, "Thank God for that." Been a world, everybody always says, "Why are those nuts in?" And he's like, "Yep, if I hadn't, this thing would have been more screwed than it is." Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of Reed, I sent you a text. He made an appearance the day that the engine died on Gears and Gasoline. So if anybody wants to see Reed, that was kind of fun.
That's right.
I
Yeah,
did not
that's
expect
a
that.
great video. That guy, I wasn't at that event. Didn't get a chance to meet the guy Kobe, but they seemed like cool videos, and it was really cool to see. Reed's car was sort of the way it was, at least in my opinion, was there was a really snappy E36, and some guy had like super nice track E36. He had like
Yep.
a bristling quick motor with I think some
Yep.
mods. And here's Reed's endurance car slamming around. It was very cool to see the difference between, and it seemed like that guy Kobe really grasped the fact that here's Reed's car. It was talking about how it kind of had a blanket set up for everybody. If it was set up for an individual driver, it might be more loose or more tight or something like that. So it was cool to hear somebody else's take on a car that I've been in a million times and don't give that much of a second thought to anymore. But it was nice how appreciated Reed's car was. I know Reed was really proud to have his car in that video.
Yep, it was kind of fun. I was a surprise to me. I didn't know that was I knew Reed had problems at VIR, but I didn't know that was the day. And then I see this car pop up. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Reed's car.
That was apparently the day when stuff went south, but it had nothing to do with it. It was all after the video stuff, as I understand it.
Indeed. So let's say, Ben, we're going to wrap this one up. Let's say there's 120 cars.
Okay.
Where is the S10 going to finish, and where is the BMW going to finish? We'll see.
The BMW has a halfway solid driver squad. I'm not going to name any names, but if you have the fastest upper half of your team in there, that could be a top 10 car. I don't know about the fuel capacity and what all I can do there, but let's just assume it can run hour and a half, 2 hour stints.
It's a stock tank.
Yeah, so probably 2 hour stints with the 2.5. Anyway, as long as I think you stay on track and stay out of trouble, that should easily be a top 10 car with good drivers. S10, almost say that's a C class car, right?
B.
Oh, you guys! How did you end up at B with that thing?
Because we won C.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. It's so far back I forgot.
We're allowed to win too,
That's
just
right. That's great. Oh,
you gotta learn to share, Ben.
But also, I have heard of people getting themselves busted back down to C after they. Yeah. So anyway, something to think about.
We have successfully done that, but it's really a B car.
B. That's good. So I think y'all must have been the kind of developing that thing some. So I'm gonna say, given your sort of feedback about where that car is, and that's a truly B class car, I'm gonna say that thing is gonna finish and dead in the middle in 60th place.
All right, very well. Well, we will see how good a prognosticator you are, because maybe we can make some money off the online betting platforms if they ever accept Lemon's bets. That would be hilarious, I think.
Let me tell you what I did have an uncanny ability for. Haven't been to these kind of races in a while. My dad still goes to these standing mile ECTA, East Coast Timing Association races. I used to go to them all the time too, just because it was fun to do. It was close by when they raced in North Carolina.
Bring your
They were Arkansas now. Yeah. I think I still have an active because they retired the records they started in Moultrie, Georgia, so they retired all the records that were set in Moultrie, and all the ones that were set in Maxton are retired. So I have at least one. I think it's for my dad's Bug Eye Sprite with the Datsun transmission conversion for going like 91 miles an hour in the standing mile. So really, very extremely impressive. I may still have a Miata record too, but I set a lot of records with the Miata because it was all V8 guys down there. Nobody screwed around with anything smaller than 5 liters. So there were a lot of open records that I could just go easily snatch up. And then like one year, some guy came down with MR2 with a turbo. He snatched a lot of them back. Like, oh, here comes a real race car. He was like going 30 miles an hour faster than me. It was a lot of fun. And I forgot why I was telling you about land speed racing now.
It's okay.
Oh, well.
Nobody listens.
That's right. Paying attention to this anyway. I got so excited to talk about land speed racing. I forgot why I brought it up. But if it comes back to
I was
me,
so
I'll say
busy
it.
listening. I was like, I don't know what we started talking about because the story was cool. It's all right.
Yeah.
So if Codename Fill in the Blank wants to tell us what we were talking about, we'll return to this subject on a future Dominating with Dawson.
That's right. So spacey. I'll be listening to this at the car on the way to work and be like, oh yeah, I was talking about that. We'll come back to it. We'll do a follow-up episode about why in the world I was thinking
That's
about
right. Where did Ben's mind go?
God, I was so Mondayed out yesterday that I forgot the 4-digit code to get into my kid's daycare.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Some dad was just like, I've seen you here, just go in. I was like, I can't. I've been punching this code for almost 8 years. I was like, I have no idea what it is, and I'm still extremely Mondayed out today. So here we go.
Well, if it makes you feel better, we are recording this on a Tuesday evening, and I have had 3 Mondays this week, so that's how my week's
exactly. Really, this feels like it's been a month of Mondays already this week, and it is Tuesday as I look at my blank wrist where there's not a watch.
That's fine. Your wrist still running late, or is it on time now? Did you wind your wrist?
Who can even say?
That's right. Very well. Let's see Ben wind his wrist on the Garage Heroes in Training OnlyFans site.
So let's talk one more thing for you guys before we get get ready for this race. What kind of tires is everybody on?
I think RS4s, but they're narrow on the BMW.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're running 225s.
That's narrow-ish. 245 might plant you a little bit better, but that's cool. Let me also ask you this. Tell the listeners, for their own edification and potentially modifying their own vehicles, what kind of brake pads is everybody running?
I believe that one of them is running SD43s, as we would always prefer. And then the
front
other
rear?
Yeah. And then one of them is running the Porterfield brand for endurance racing. I think that's the
RS4s or RE4s, something like that.
Yeah, or something 4. And
interesting.
They're good though.
Yeah, hell yeah. So check this out. When we were racing our E30, we wanted to run ST43s all the way around. And this is back in the days where I think you can still do this. But I mean, I think you can call up maybe somebody like named Kim at Porterfield. Like Wendy. I just dialed the number for Porterfield and said, hey, we're buying brake pads for an endurance racing car. I think I said we were racing Champ car at the time. I was like, is there a racer discount? And she's like, yeah, 15% for racers. So all I did was call up, ask for the discount, and got it. But in the E30 pad shape, the ST43 fronts were a reasonable price. The ST43, those little weird rear pucks for E30s, were more than the fronts in ST43. So we always ran ST43s up front, and the RE4, I think for some reason, the E30 shape in that was totally reasonable. So, and they were comparable. Like we had pretty much equal wear front and rear, because also they equal that. Because usually you wear the rears a lot slower if you're running the equal pads. But in this case, if we would just slap pads on at the same time, pretty much. But I mean, we're talking like, and this is before our squad all got super fast. So I'm sure there's some driver variance in this, but I mean, we were talking about getting like 40-something, 50-something track hours out of a set of pads. It was amazing once we switched to those ST43. So it sounds like you guys are making some great choices out there.
We're trying. We do use the ST43 front and the RE4 whatever rear on the Miata and the Civic, because it gives us a better brake balance.
Yeah, that's always been it was always a good brake bias for us too on the E30.
Mm-hmm. So without a brake bias adjustment, you do it by the pads.
Cool. Well, we also had a brake bias adjuster.
Well, some of the stuff we're not allowed to have, and We try not to be biased. We're trying to be a middle of the
there you
road
go.
kind of podcast, you know.
Nice. Good one.
Thank you very much. I'll be here all
All right,
week.
you got all your fuel jugs, you got your fire extinguishers, you have your checklists, all that stuff squared away, getting there.
So many checklists.
Well, good on you.
Surprised to no one. Guess what? They're in Excel.
Great.
All right. Thank you, Ben. Welcome
Hey,
back.
good luck. I can't wait to follow along. Thank you for having me back. I'm excited about this race weekend to live it vicariously watching you guys while I change the brakes on my Lexus RX 350 in my garage.
Oh, I know which one of those sounds like more fun to me, but we'll leave that to the audience.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.